Everyone thinks that the next big app idea needs unlimited time, unlimited money, and lots of freedom. But the truth is that too much freedom actually kills your momentum. The best founders don't start with everything. Instead, they start with limits. They simplify, they constrain, and that's how they actually get something built. If your idea feels stuck, scattered, or just too big to begin, then this video is for you because I'm going to show you why constraints are the real key to unlocking progress, plus, how adding them can actually give you the freedom to move fast. Because keeping up momentum is the key to actually shipping. Freedom feels good, but it can paralyze you. You see, it's too easy to think that the more freedom you have, the better your idea will turn out. But when you can do anything, you often end up doing nothing. I've seen this over and over again with software clients I have, and even more so when I used to teach game development. Aspiring developers want to build the next Call of Duty or the next GTA. The only problem is they hadn't yet figured out how to build Pac-Man. That's not a knock on ambition because it's natural to want to build those big games. But without constraints, there's no focus. And without focus, there's no progress. I've been there myself. The first game that I dreamed up, well, it was a mashup of all the games that I loved. It was a side scroller like Bad Dudes. Yes, I'm old. With Mortal Kombat style boss fights. And then a 3D switch into Doom style action after the boss levels. So again, this is all old school stuff. But I thought it'd be amazing, and honestly, it probably would have been amazing. But I didn't want to make trade-offs. I didn't even want to choose between 2D and 3D. And that was the problem. I spent so much time thinking about this dream game, sketching out levels on notebook paper, writing the story, imagining how epic it would be. But I never built it because it was too big. It was too messy. It was too undefined. Back then, I didn't understand game engines. I didn't know that different game engines were built for different specific types of games. And while today's tools could actually make that vision I had as a kid possible, the truth is, if I had understood the limits of the time, I could have built a version of that game. I could have made something, but because I kept it wide open, as a result, I built nothing. And it wasn't until 2007 that I really learned this lesson. I was writing my first technical book on game development, and I needed a simple game to teach from. The constraints were clear. It had to demonstrate core concepts, it had to be teachable, and it had to be buildable with limited code. And because of that framing, and only because of that framing, I finished the game, the library the game was built on, and the book in 6 weeks. In fact, there was a couple games in the book. But the project worked because there were constraints. The earlier one did not because there weren't any constraints. You see, constraints sparks both creativity and momentum. Most people see constraints as obstacles, but the truth is they're not like roadblocks at all. Instead, it's like cans of fuel you're trying to pick up. Because when you're forced to simplify your ideas, you're forced to find what really matters. You stop trying to build 5 features and start solving one problem really well. And that produces clarity, and it's powerful. It gives you direction. You see, constraints also make feedback faster. Instead of spending 6 months building a full app, you build a rough version in a week. And suddenly you're learning from real users, not just your imagination. Plus, constraints push you to be resourceful. You stop waiting for the perfect tool or the perfect time. You work with what you have. And in doing that, you actually start building. That's what happened with my book. I had a clear scope, a clear audience, and a clear purpose. Because of that, it forced me to make decisions quickly. And as a result, I shipped fast. Those constraints did not slow me down, they actually gave me momentum. So, if constraints are this powerful, how do you actually create them on purpose? Well, here's how to add smart constraints to your idea. In fact, here are three simple but effective ways to add smart limits to your idea and unlock progress. First, set a short, clear deadline. Give yourself a certain amount of days to build something. 3 days to 6 weeks is a good range. Aim for days, not weeks. You're not trying to build a full app, just a clickable demo, a prototype, even a landing page that explains the idea. It's not about finishing, it's about starting with urgency and breaking the inertia that's keeping you still. Second, limit your idea to one specific use case. Ask yourself, what's the smallest version of this idea that still solves a real problem? Don't try to build an all in one platform. Solve one thing well for one group of people. That clarity gives you focus, and it makes everything easier to design, easier to test, and easier to build. Third, use only tools that you already know or that you can learn within an hour. This eliminates the traps of endless research. Pick something you can use right now. No perfect tool hunting. Constraints on tools lead to faster progress and better problem solving. When you create these kinds of constraints for yourself, you shift from just dreaming to actually building. You stop stalling, and instead you start shipping. So now you know constraints don't hold you back. Instead, they unlock your creativity, they give you momentum, and they actually help you ship. So whether it's setting a short deadline, narrowing your use case, or sticking to tools you already know, putting smart limits in place can take your idea from maybe someday to, hey, I just launched this. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll likely want to watch this really short video next on why clarity comes after you start, not before. Because it's okay, just build it wrong. So go ahead, watch it now, and I'll see you in the next video.